Ladies and gentlemen, foes and fans, friends and fudders. I'd like to welcome you all to the first of many podcasts that I've named Shy's Shib. We have a lot to talk about because Shib covers so many different topics. We have so much to talk about. And today, in this first episode, we're going to touch on a few different things. First, we're going to talk about 1 billion. We're going to talk about karma, reputation. We're going to talk about AI, of course. And I think we'll talk a little bit about the global climate as it currently stands. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Shytoshi Kusama. And for those of you who do not know me, let's talk a little bit about who I am. I was the lead visionary for Shiba Inu, which I'm assuming all of you have heard of. We are the #1 meme community in the world, in my humble opinion. We have collectively led a decentralized network state to global recognition, and we've built a series, a structure, and an operating system of advanced technologies to help bring forth a better, decentralized, fair world. And it is my pleasure today to go more into detail about what and who we are currently and also where we are going. So, with that short intro, let's start with the first topic of today in this brand new podcast. Let's talk about 1 billion. You know, a billion is very hard to reach. There are a lot of different quotes that stick out when I think about 1 billion. You know, there are trillions and trillions of stars. There are 8 or 9 billion people on this wonderful planet we call home. And there are over 1 billion transactions on Shibarium. Now, that's an impressive stat when you actually begin to realize what it means. It means that we have at least 10 times the transactions of Cardano. We've surpassed many other chains in our sector, in our industry, and we're only growing from here. That 1 billion mark is really a milestone that deserves a round of applause. It deserves recognition for all of you who have built or used Shibarium. And it represents exactly who we are, the future that we can build together, and our current trajectory, which, of course, isn't always dictated by price, which is affected by market manipulation, global events. But instead, when I say trajectory, I mean what we are moving towards and how we get there. Shibarium is, in many opinions, at least in my opinion, the foundation of who we are and what we are building, which is, again, an operating system for the future. So, again, congratulations to all of you. Kudos to all of you, all of us. And let's make sure we move forward, taking Shibarium to the next level. Now, we'll get more into Shibarium in a little bit. So we have our first guest. I'm really excited to have Shadow on the podcast today. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about this global climate that we are in. And I guess it's only fair if I take a little bit of time to talk about why I have been so quiet. Let me tie these two ideas together, global climate and 1 billion. There's a quote, a very famous quote from, I believe, JP Morgan. Anyone can be a millionaire, but to be a billionaire, you need an astrologer. Now, there are a lot of different opinions on astrology. I'm a very religious person. I've seen the mountain of Moses and climbed it myself. I've seen things that are unexplainable, and I assure you I wouldn't be here without the grace of the Most High God. But astrology is one of those topics where some religions you don't touch it, and other ones it's everything. But the quote that I love is that it's supposed to be used for signs and for season. So what season are we in? And I believe we are in a season where things must change. Now, look, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are, but I believe you will agree that things must change. And if you don't agree, joke's on you, buddy. Things will change. AI has changed so much in such a short amount of time. It is inevitable that things change globally. Doesn't matter if you like those in power or not. Doesn't matter who you voted for. Regardless, things will change. And agents of change sometimes make things more difficult so that things get better. Now, better for who is a very good question. But my focus, of course, is to make sure things get better for us. And how exactly do you think we can do that? Or mean posting on Instagram and on X at all times? No. The key here is for us to focus on developing the future. So as I dug into myself, and this is something I advise all of you as listeners, dig into yourself, know thyself. The more I dug into myself, the more I realized for me to reach my true potential, because as you all know, I love Super Saiyans, I love Dragon Ball Z like most of the world. I really haven't gone Super Saiyan. I've been in base mode while being, I unfortunately have not been my best. I haven't been my best physically, mentally, spiritually. I've been trying, but it's difficult when every time you open your phone, it's thousands of messages nonstop. And to make you all aware, it was the holy month of Ramadan, and I've attempted Ramadan multiple times in the past. This was the first time I was able to complete. Now, according to my own astrology, and I have a very unusual astrology for those of you who are astrologers. I have a Libra stellium of 5 planets, and I have a double yod of 4 planets. And my yod, which is basically known as the finger of God pointing at me to do something, is only activated through some sort of heartbreak, which happened right near the middle / end of Ramadan, and it ripped me apart, took my soul and stepped on, destroyed who I thought I was, made me question everything. Best thing that ever happened to me, because when I came out of Ramadan, and therefore shortly after in my calendar, which is the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, I'd lost at the beginning of the year about 25 kilos of weight, and my entire reset of soul, mind, body, spirit is complete. And unfortunately, for everybody who was wondering, I needed that time so that I could step forward and talk truth to you all in a much more powerful manner, with my full heart open and with my soul laid bare. Now, that doesn't mean I wasn't working, as many would say, on the grind the entire time. And now, with a slightly different vision of how we ensure success for all of us, and the technologies that we've been building nearing completion and release, and new technologies emerging, focus, we're in a better place. I am in a better place. And now, with the winds of change shifting from many planets moving, retrograde over, a lot of new planets in new houses and in new positions, the wind is to our back, regardless of which is exactly where we wanted to be as we begin this important conversation about technology. And the first technology that we'll be releasing in this new phase, if you want to call it, is karma. Now, karma is actually pretty interesting when you consider it. There are many different opinions of what karma is, but if you go back to Hermetic science, it's basically a result of one's action. There are a lot of questions around karma. Can it be canceled? Can you do things to cancel out bad karma? And you would say, yes, I would agree. But how do we translate karma and an equivalent or similar concept of reputation into blockchain? And why is it important? And to answer this and some other questions, and to discuss the technology that we built and how it fits into a larger picture of what SHIB will become, I have Shadow with me, who is one of our developers, and I'm super excited to have him on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, a short round of applause for Shadow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and thank you for being here and being our first guest of many. Shadow, can you tell us a little bit about what you work on in SHIB?
Hi, Shai. Thank you for the invite here, and yeah, I'm so glad that you have invited me, and I'm so happy to speak here with you. I'm a software development manager in SHIB, and I manage a lot of projects. We build a lot of interesting projects, and currently I've been working on many good projects. Like Karma is one of the project, and then we are also working on multiple projects like staking, the new version of staking, and DAO, and cross-chain swap, and pretty cool stuff like that.
Pretty amazing. And I'd like to just give a shout out to the entire dev team who have been really behind the scenes, quietly building some amazing technologies that have, in my opinion, gone underestimated and undervalued, but not for long. And I think that you're one of the most important on the team. So thank you for being here. Now, let's talk about this idea of karma. Before we get into the technical aspect of how karma works within our system, I'd love your opinion of
As per me, karma is something very crucial to our ecosystem. For me, karma is like going to be like a identity for trust. So people or users or developers or whoever are using our products, whichever product it is, like are they using our swap, or are they using our metaverse, or are they reading our magazines, getting minting our NF, whatever. So with karma, we are going to give like a trust scores on basis of the use activity on our systems, and that trust score will be associated with a lot of things, but majorly it shows how valued our users are, and how are they using our platforms. It gives us insights on every users and all of their activities in our ecosystem.
Ah, I see. So karma tends to be a trust system, which is interesting because blockchain loves the word trustless. Like there's no need to even think about how you're dealing with the other person. It just works directly. But as we know, we deal with so many scams and scammers in this system. Having a trust-based system to help understand who you are dealing with is very important. And in my opinion, it's also important because it can be transferred into a lot of different industries and a lot of different systems. Is that right? Am I getting that right? That this could be used in a whole bunch of different dApps and a bunch of different systems that people are building?
Yes, yes, you are absolutely right, Shy. Yeah. So Karma will be a trust score for all the dApps or everything that we are building. We have built till now, or we will be building in future, whatever. So we will be like giving some scores to the users based on their activity. It can be positive scores or it can be negative scores based on their activity, and that shows in the end the overall Karma will show us if a user is trustworthy or not.
Interesting. It's really interesting that you can gain positive or negative karma through doing certain actions. I think that also ties closely to reputation. Is that right? I know reputation will come a little bit later, or maybe even at the same time for this system, but the idea of reputation comes closely behind it, right? Because now I get to say if this person is helpful for me or not.
Right. Reputation will be another trust score that we'll be having, but it will be after karma, not with karma. I hope that was the case. But primary difference between reputation and karma, what I see is the introduction of roles. So reputation will be more close related to the roles of the users, what their role is in the ecosystem. Are they a developer, or are they a moderator, or are they any other? So with reputation, we'll also be introducing roles, and reputation would mostly be a rating given to each other or given by users, and like it will be a rating system. But karma, the difference in karma is a trust score that we are building, and the user gets the score by using our platforms and the way they are using our platform.
Interesting. And when I think about in a system that's similar that works very well, I think of eBay. eBay's been around for decades at this point. And one of the good things about eBay is that when you find a quote unquote trusted seller, you know that the likelihood of you getting your item is higher because this person has so many trusted transactions. And we see this obviously in other platforms. But I think eBay is the best example. And it's funny because within the first few months of eBay, you're not really going to see that trust system truly have an impact. But over time, it really helps you know who and what your likelihood of success will be. I always think about like when I meet people, what is the likelihood of the possibility that they're a scammer? It's always, a rating between 1 to 5. And this is my personal karma system. But I love this because it's community based and for reputation, but it's also just simply locked on chain. This brings up a question, and I just want to confirm this that we won't be starting karma on a certain date. We'll actually be including karma from past transactions as well. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, definitely. We will be including karma from all the transactions that people have done, from the beginning of the swap or beginning of the MV, or like basically beginning of our products. We will be processing all the past data into our karma engine, and that will give us the final scores.
Fantastic. I think that's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first that you'll you'll see certain individuals gain karma from day one from what they've done pre day one, which is really important. And that's a beautiful thing, Shadow, because it means that I know who I can trust instantly. Just like I mentioned with eBay, you don't see it instantly, but here, the karma engine will instantly give you an idea of who you're dealing with for individuals, and that means also it closely ties to identity because you need that identity. Is that right as well?
Right. So identity is not integrated from the first day, but it will be eventually integrated in karma. And like the karma scores will be mapped to each user's identity. And yeah, it will be coming soon.
Interesting. And see that's when things get really interesting. And when you begin to tie all these different components of what I love to call the 36 gamers of tech, which now are more than 36, together, because that's when the power of the entire operating is truly unlocked. And I love it because, for like a business or a government, the ability to track the karma of your citizens or your users, is really important, on a variety of different for a variety of different reasons. And I guess that's my next question, and maybe my final question. How can I use karma in my app? What are some things that I could use these karma points to?
Right. So there are multiple things that these karma points will be able to do. Like, first of all, things, right, like this karma will be integrated in our DAO system. So it will be a crucial part in our DAO system as well. This will be given karma boost. We say it as a karma boost in the DAO. Like people getting rewards will have this, like we will be getting integrating this karma inside the DAO, and people voting or using our platform and who are supposed to get any rewards, they can boost their rewards using this karma. That is the first thing. And second thing, it's similarly this karma scores will be used in throughout our system, like in many of our products, to give advantages to the users who are more trustworthy or have positive karma rather than people having negative karmas. We can simply remove people who are having negative karma because of certain misusages of the platforms, right? Or the things that we consider as not good for the system.
Amazing. I think that's such an amazing example of how we will use karma. And I'm really excited to see what other users will do with this karma system, because so many different things can be built using this. So many different systems, so many different incentives can be utilized with this karma system, especially when you align it with what we already have, different tokens and how they work together. It's really powerful. And I'm super excited to see it launch, and to see what the community will do with it. So Shadow, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. I hope to see you again as we continue to talk about other amazing projects that I know you have up your sleeve because I know about them. And I'm super excited to see Karma release. So thank you. Any other things you want to mention?
Yeah, thank you, Shai. Right, like with karma, like I would want to add few more things that we have been doing with karma. Like karma system, the technical details, like the backend or the technical architecture of this karma is like a marble to me. Like I really take proud on building this product because this is like, as far as I know, this is going to be the first on-chain EXP system that is going to come out, like built in a house in Shiba. So we take proud on it really. So karma can be used. This karma contracts or karma system can be used by any other developers or any other users out there who want to build on top of our karma system, or who want to utilize our karma to do something in their systems or provide any sorts of rewards or incentives in their systems. They can do that. And also, if in near future we will be also supporting other developers to onboard to our current system, that is also a plan that we are having, that we will be providing a process where people can a intake form, basically, where people can request to onboard to our karma system, and we will be giving out the systems or the services to them. So these are all in the pipeline for karma, and yeah, I'm very excited to see it live, same as you, Shai, and I'll be very excited to see how the community reacts to karma.
Fantastic notes. Shadow, thank you for being here again. And karma is such an interesting topic, and it's really a marvel to have inside of our ecosystem. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a few moments to talk about some of the important things that are outside of the karma and outside of the billion and everything else. Again, you're listening to the Shy Speaks Shib podcast. I want to thank you all for listening. We are looking for podcast guests. If you would like to be on this podcast, we'd love to have you and love to speak to you about what you're working on. Specifically, if you're working on barium, but even if you're working on things outside of Shibarium, we'd love to have you. We are booked far into the future, but I'm doing my best to squeeze in more guests so that we can have fun here. You can email us at podcast@shib.io. And also, if you're interested in being featured in our DAP directory, which I believe is going live today or tomorrow, we'd love to have you as well, get you featured in our magazine, love to tweet about what you're working on so that we can build, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but build better, to build back better. Sounds terrible, right? But you get what I mean. Anyway, thank you all for being here on the first podcast episode of Shy Shib. Until we meet again, please stay well and you all soon.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.